Here's to honor among thieves. We almost pulled it off.
All my friends are heathens, take it slow.
Despite what everybody thought.
Wait for them to ask you who you know.
They're gonna blame us for the whole thing. We're the patsies. Don't forget, we're the bad guys.
Hello, welcome to What the Flick. My name is Christy. That is Alonzo. That is Ben. Eventually, all four of us will be here at once. For now, you get three of us. So we're going to talk about Suicide Squad in full
spoiler vision.
So don't watch this if you haven't seen it or don't want to be spoiled.
Frankly, I don't know what's the spoil.
Well, can you describe anything about it?
Sure. This is from a writer-director, David Ayer, who wrote Training Day and wrote and directed a couple of interesting smaller movies, End of Watch and Fury, which was a World War II movie, but it was smaller and it was pretty good. Yeah. This is none of those things. It's not smaller and it's not pretty good. So it's the story of it's the Dirty Dozen, right?
Basically,
It's the speaking of World War II, as we were. It's a take on that story of criminals facing life sentences and maybe the death penalty. I don't remember. That's one of the problems with the movie is that they spend. We'll get to that in a moment. It's the story of these people locked up. And then the government gets them out, these superhero-like people.
Metahumans.
Metahumans, thank you. Deadshot, Will Smith, and what's her name? Haley Quinn?
Harley Quinn.
Like
Harlequin.
Get it?
Harlequin. I got it. I get it
like
now.
Diagonal.
I get it.
Diagonal.
I get it
This second.
Did not register before. And they lead these group of renegade metahumans in an effort, the secret plan by the government to essentially, as you might guess, save the world from annihilation. But they are all criminals and they are all dangerous. And so it's the bad guys hired by the good guys. And that creates lots of very funny scenes. There are none.
We've all heard the stories of Samson leveling a temple with a single push. Or the Philistine weapon of mass destruction named Goliath. The next war will be fought with these metahumans.
Please don't forget.
Ours or theirs.
I want to assemble a task force of the most dangerous people on the planet.
I torture you.
No pain, no gain. Never stand down, made our own way.
Y'all jokers must be crazy.
This is the deal. You're going somewhere very bad.
Look at the pretty lights.
To do something that'll get you killed.
You might want to work on your team motivation thing. You heard of Phil Jackson?
Yeah.
He's like the gold standard, okay? Triangle, bitch.
I torture you.
What?
I torture you.
Oh, yeah, you're the fire bloke, eh? Well, looky here. Fire!
I'm just a sucker for pain.
I can't wait to show you my toys.
Okay.
Oh, man. Okay, first of all, while you attractive people spent the 80s having sex and like talking about sports, I was reading comic books. Mostly DC comic books, and including, I was reading Suicide Squad. So I was hoping that this might work, especially...
So when you saw that first trailer, you were like, all right.
I try not to watch trailers, but when I heard about the trailer's response, I'm like, okay, well, it's not directed by Zack Snyder. That's a plus, right?
No speed ramping.
Yeah, and like this is, this is a fun concept, and these are cool characters.
It is a fun concept, right?
Yeah, and this is just such a hot mess in so many ways. First of all, as I said in the thing with Matt, like they are introducing so many characters, and they rush through it so much. You barely know who half of them are. The ones you do get to know kind of have one thing, like Deadshot wants to be reunited with his daughter, and, Harley wants to be reunited with the Joker, and El Diablo, regrets having misused his powers or whatever. And then you're supposed to believe that they form this cohesive unit, which you don't, because they're all criminals and they just want to escape anyway. There's one scene in a bar where they sit around and talk, and that's supposed to pass for bonding, but it's not a very good scene.
But the thing with that...
Just really, real quick, because you used cohesive, and it's a really appropriate word to use here, because there is a bonding scene in the bar, but there's no cohesion in fighting either. Those, and maybe it's because everything's cut so incredibly quickly that there's no moment that registered with me is that where one is saving the other. Like they're not working together. They just sort of, I mean, it's almost like almost like kung fu movies where you just, one guy comes, one at a time.
Right.
Guys run at you and we see each one sort of do their things, but there's no moment of working together as a team. That is problem 13.
Well, all the big action set pieces take place in the dark, or in the rain, or in the dark and the rain. So it's hard to see who's doing what with
or in
anyway.
a subway tunnel.
Right. But I was going to say, with the thing with the bar scene we're talking about, like, supposedly the world is about to end. Supposedly, like, cataclysmic shit is about to go down.
It is going down.
And they grind to a halt. All of a sudden, they stop. So these guys can go have a drink in a bar. And it's not even like that scene is that well written or that compelling. And it barely even fleshes them out. It fleshes out El Diablo.
And are there people in the background where there's other people in the bar? Was the bar open?
No,
it's just them.
Been evacuated.
But there's so many damn people in this movie that they fill it anyway. It's like, do we need Katana? Like, there's no backstory for her. She has a sword with souls in it, and one of them is her dead husband's. Boom. That's it. That's all you get.
What does Slipknot do? I wrote in my review for RogerEbert.com, like, Boomerang does something with a boomerang.
Yeah.
And Slipknot does something.
I don't even know who's in this movie. I mean, I know the actors in the movie. I don't know the characters. Because one of the things they do at the beginning that I thought Matt Singer wrote about very effectively, that like the first 30 minutes of the movie is a introduction to these people, and you need some introduction. But included in that is this, cool comic book type writing on the screen where they list what these people do. I literally, all of a sudden in a day I became my father.
It's fast.
Keep it on the screen a second longer because it's not two things, it's 8 things. You got to have a moment to take it in. There's no moment to take anything in. There's no moment in the fighting to take anything in. Everything is too quick. And the result is, to me, is by far the main problem is that, and it's been a problem throughout 2016. 2016 is the year of no stakes. At no point are you quite even, I would say you're not even 40% committed to what they're doing, to feeling what they're doing, to understanding the gravity, to feeling any sense of genuine danger.
They're trying to be jokey while the world is ending. And then the effects look like shit. It's like Ghostbusters adjacent in terms of what the
1984 Ghostbusters, not even 2016 Ghostbusters.
And poor Cara Delevingne.
Oh, man.
Do they shoot it backward to make it look kind of like jerky?
She's Cobra Woman with the big headdresses and everything.
It's funny. It's not supposed to be funny.
No. We should unpack the plot because it's kind of a mess here because the plot is that so Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis, is
only good part of the whole thing.
She's great. Putting together this team of supervillains in case another, like a bad metahuman shows up, we need to be able to fight it. One of those metahumans is the Enchantress, who's Cara Delevingne's character. Waller thinks she can control the Enchantress because she has her heart in a briefcase, and the Enchantress's human alter ego June Moon is in love with Rick Flag, who is the guy who's in charge of Suicide Squad.
The regular human.
The soldier who's been assigned to babysit the Suicide Squad happens to have been the Enchantress's boyfriend.
Right. Well, no, she makes him the head because she figures that's another way to control Enchantress. But at some point, Enchantress slips past everyone's control and, gets some guy to be, with the spirit of her brother so the two of them can take over the world. So that's never explained why suddenly Enchantress is smarter than they are and able to outflank them. So then you have the big mission is to get a high-value target, which turns out to be Amanda Waller. And then the big thing at the end... I didn't
even know what they were trying to do.
The big thing at the end is to save the world from the Enchantress, which is like the problem they created in the first place. So this whole movie is about its own fuck-ups and fixing them, which also undercuts the stakes, because if you'd all just stayed home, none of this would have happened,
Yes. And also, they're all kind of disposable. Like, if you fail, you die. If you fail, you die.
Yes.
Maybe we'll get rid of all of them at any point in time, so why should we care ourselves?
But that's at least kind of a cool notion. I mean, that's the idea of Suicide Squad, that the thing of let's introduce Slipknot and then kill him to show that we mean business would have been a cooler idea if we had spent more than 30 seconds with Slipknot.
You spent no time with him. And when he dies, I didn't know he had died. Like it wasn't, death was not clear from that.
Because it was in the dark and the rain.
It was dark in the rain, and I'm like, was he okay? Is he going to pop down? Is there, I guess he's dead.
I don't know who he is. It's like if you want to have that thing land, it's like you have to introduce Janet Leigh before you stab Janet Leigh. If they had taken one of the characters that we gave a half a shit about and then killed him, be like, oh, okay, well, then this is serious. But to have a guy literally appear in the movie for the first time and then blow him up in 20 seconds, it's like, okay.
And hope that, and have us believe that the other characters feel that in some way that's going to impact their behavior.
Them too,
But no, they didn't care either. They don't, because they weren't friends before.
Right.
They met that guy when we met that guy.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right.
But then all of a sudden they cared about Harley Quinn, right? All of a sudden, and I will say that one of the few things that work here is the chemistry between Will Smith and Margot Robbie, harkening back to their electric chemistry in Focus, which nobody saw, but I kind of like. But they have some nice moments. Will Smith can't help but be charismatic. He has some moments, but all of a sudden, like, he cares about her and is not going to shoot her.
Yeah, and do we think that?
Well, he shot bad people, and it's unclear how bad she is.
She's supposed to be awful.
Right, she's supposed to be awful.
They're all awful.
Yeah. Do we think that casting Will Smith was a mistake in that he is not, for a character who's supposed to be a villain that you eventually kind of begrudgingly admire? When it's Will Smith, don't we just kind of from the get-go think, well, how bad can he be? It's Will Smith.
Yes,
well,
totally.
he has to be charming.
And he was charming. He was charming.
I guess, but there's nothing roguish about. I mean, there's nothing roguish about Will Smith. But there's nothing like that that tips Will Smith into being a bad guy that you then kind of begrudgingly come around to realizing is maybe okay.
You always know he's going to be.
He's always a good guy. He's always
he's doing it for his daughter. Whatever he's doing for his daughter.
Yeah.
Well, none of them are truly frightening. That's part of the problem.
Even Killer Croc.
Right,
they're not even vaguely frightening.
No.
Truly, they're not frightening.
Right, and shouldn't that be part of it
yes,
when they
totally.
are supervillains?
The great thing about like Lee Marvin was that you believed that Lee Marvin might be bad, so that in a movie like, I don't know, Point Blank, where it turns out he's not bad, or that you like him, but Will Smith has none of that. You're on Will Smith's side right from the beginning. You can't help but be. It's Will Smith. He doesn't have that quality, or he's never taken on a script that actually has him as a dangerous, menacing person. Because when we see him in the beginning and he's an assassin and he's great at his job, but we know the guy he's killing is a evil mobster about to think on other evil mobsters. So he doesn't kill Margot Robbie because there's something pure and wonderful about Margot Robbie.
And whatever he's doing for his daughter. I'm now looking back to remind myself, I feel like there was one movie once where Will Smith was actually a bad guy. But who does have shading is Viola Davis. She is the best thing in this entire movie, and there are surprises there with her as far as where she's willing to go for the sake of the mission. And
but the thing she does is so awful and barbaric that she's unredeemable. She should go to prison for life. She's worse than any of them. She just killed innocent people. Her own people.
That's right. This is the spoiler one. She shoots a bunch of FBI agents because they weren't cleared to know that the squad even existed.
But that's the scene. Like that's supposed to deliver in a real movie. That would be you'd be like, oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Right. But it's nothing. Then we're back to hey,
you know, trying to be jokey and breezy in the way that like Deadpool was, like daring but breezy, like Deadpool, like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
But the jokes always land with a thud. Like they're never funny. They feel wedged in. Like when Jay Courtney is like propositioning Katana, whatever. Hey, what are you doing later? Like, where does that come from?
God, Jai Courtney is so misused in this movie. Like, they give him nothing to do, and he's barely in it.
He's not Tom Hardy, by the way. I've had friends ask me, isn't Tom Hardy in it? No, he's not Tom Hardy. Hancock.
Okay.
Was Will Smith really bad in Hancock? Was he
He was an alcoholic superhero. He was pretty bad, but he gets some redemption by the end.
That's all I got for you.
This just feels like a missed opportunity because I think the DC cinematic universe needed a kick in the pants desperately, and this movie could have been that because it is so different. And I think a Deadpool approach sounds great on paper and would have been better for this. I'm not saying it had to be exactly like Deadpool, but it doesn't, whatever they were trying to do, it doesn't work. And you can feel all the hands and the thumbprints on it and the changes and the cuts. And again, as with BVS, I'm sure we'll get that director's cut later that will be a little more coherent because it's going to be another 45 minutes longer.
There is no sense of what David Ayer is good at. Like he's good at like intimate, visceral intensity. Like whether it's End of Watch or Fury inside that tank. This just feels like he got swallowed whole by the machinery of making a big budget superhero movie.
Yeah, anybody could have directed this.
Anybody could have directed. Also, can I say really fast, the music clang.
Cues.
Every single song is so on the nose in terms of what they play when they're introducing each person.
Yeah.
Like Sympathy for the Devil from Viola Davis.
Which-
Like, You Don't Own Me from Margot Robbie.
Yeah. Oh, just setting up Belle Reve in Louisiana, they play House of the Rising Sun. It's like,
my God,
yes,
yes,
we get
of
it.
course, we're in the
And really, after Focus, no one should ever use Sympathy for the Devil again.
After Scorsese, no one should ever use it again.
Well, yeah, it was already dead, and then Focus at least used it intelligently and as a joke, and that was cool. But now, stick a fork in it.
And Bohemian Rhapsody. Enough. Moratorium on Bohemian Rhapsody. Go ahead, sorry.
We should talk about Jared Leto because
Who's barely in
I was
it?
gonna say, well, clearly we forgot about him. The fact that we forgot about him 10 minutes in is precisely
In that story, his corruption of Margot Robbie, who plays a psychiatrist who's treating him, and then they fall for each other, and then he throws her in a pit of acid or whatever that is that we're supposed to know.
It's the same chemicals that turned him into the Joker.
The thing that got him into the Joker, he throws her in to bond them together, but that felt like that story. That might be that would be perhaps a more interesting movie, sort of her descent into falling for him.
Yeah, no, that's going to be. Aren't they doing a separate Harley Quinn?
They've been talking about that. Yeah, no, that's an interesting character. Like she was actually created for Batman the Animated Series, and then sort of worked her way into the comics after that. And yeah, she's a neat character. The backstory is cool there, but the Joker is such a. I described in my review as tertiary. He's not even secondary. Like he's so barely in this thing.
Do we think he did that's a tough gig.
I don't even know that I can evaluate how good or bad a Joker he is because there's so little of him in the movie.
It's kind of giggly, you know. It's not like we're talking about. You feel someone's truly evil and truly frightening, like Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight Rises. Truly frightening. I mean, he's doing more of like a giggly, kind of goofy Jack Nicholson version of the Joker.
He's going for more of a charismatic thing, whereas Ledger was out to just unsettle you.
I think they did some nice things with how he looked. I mean, I thought they were fairly inventive, and they messed with his teeth.
Yeah.
You know, so there were a couple of different things there that they had, you know.
And the shot where she's wearing the Harlequin outfit and sort of leaning on him, and he's got the tuxedo on. That's like the sort of iconic comics Alex Ross painting thing that they're reenacting in the movie.
Something that is probably not important, but I just very quickly again, the world's falling apart. You're right. This plan. I don't remember which one of you, but the plan is so dumb. Like I mean, everything about their plan is dumb. It's unclear. So the first plan was to save her. Well, why did she put herself in a position that needed to be saved, and then they have to save themselves from their own creation. It's like a rock. By the way, if this movie is seen as a metaphor for a rock, it's better. But they fly. They're like 9 choppers that get shot down, and no chopper doesn't get shot down. They keep evacuating people in a chopper, and then the chopper flies at 50 feet off the ground through a war zone, and what do you know? It gets shot down. like don't fly higher. Go another direction. Go around the city, do something, go somewhere where you're not getting shot at because you have no ability to defend yourself. And so chopper after chopper after chopper gets shot at. It becomes, again, it merely adds to this sort of sense that I don't have anything at stake here. No one is really at risk.
Yeah, and also like one of the key relationships in this movie, just for the plot's sake, is supposed to be the one between Rick Flag and June Moon. And we get one scene of them talking. Like there's, we're told like 3 times, oh, they love each other, and that's why he's in control of blah blah blah. But you see them on screen together, and you don't register any of that. Cara Delevingne and Joel Kinnaman have zip chemistry. Yeah. They aren't given any kind of moment together to sort of establish. And that's the kind of thing where like one good close-up could tell the whole story, but you don't ever even get that.
Well, no one gets fleshed out here. Really, no single character comes even close to resembling a human being.
They couldn't have a close-up because the shots can only be 3/4 of a second long.
Right, and it would be all her eyebrows. Right. Yeah. Okay, so what are your numbers then?
I'm still a 5, which is feeling all the more generous, but
you're stuck with it.
I'm going to make things easy. I'll just 4.
Okay, I'm saying 3. So our average is a 4, and it is at 30% and dropping on the tomato meter, which may not exist anymore after Suicide Squad because all these fools are trying to take down Rotten Tomatoes. You can't take down Rotten Tomatoes.
I got
come back stronger.
Marvel gave me $250. What did they give you?
I have an island.
I'm getting a mani-pedi from them later on.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, Alonzo's the winner. In that
Bye.